Hi, my name is Angelique. I am the presenter of the show of The Voice of Reason, where you see the young people showing their talent, their testimony, and what they're doing for the community.
The Voice of Reason, we would like to give you a gift.
Oh.
Through prayer and planning, and that's when the vision just started to give birth and everything. That's how we really started.
But it's actually come of village music, because you know we have our own type of village music.
Every tribe has their own, you know, they play with the drum.
Don't forget to watch me every Saturday at 3 p.m. in UK time, at 4 p.m. in France and Congo time. You can also catch up on what you missed on Saturday every Monday at 2 p.m. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello again to you who loves the Voice of Reason show. Thank you for coming to tuning in again once more to your one and only show of the Voice of Reason. As you all know, I am the presenter of your show, goes by the name of Angelique. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, because since we finished 2017 together, and today will be the first show ever for us to do in the year of 2018. Yes, you may be questioning yourself, why so late? Why have you taken so long? The whole month of January, you guys haven't seen the Voice of Reason, but in February, here I am in your screen. That's because in the beginning of the year of 2018, I lost my little cousin, Jose, my Biala Sosongo, and due to that, the whole family were affected, so it was good for me to take some time and with the family to heal, moan, and then recover and restore ourselves. Thank you to all the youth who came to help the family, to support the family. Shout out to Jay, shout out to Naomi, shout out to Gypsy, every one of you, Christian Bless. Thank you, each and every one of you, for attending the funeral with us. It was really lovely to see each and every one of you. Now, you may be wondering, what have Angelique brought us this year? What is it that Angelique wants to tell us this year? Well, today on my show, I have a guest, and she goes by the name of Miss Marlene Mayele. Let's greet her. Hello, Marlene.
Hi.
See, I had to call me Marlene. I had to put the Congolese inside. How are you?
I'm good.
You're looking good. The year has started and you've come with a bang, you know.
Bonne année, mama.
As you can see, she's Congolese.
Yeah.
Now, the viewers are watching you, and as you all know, the Voice of Reason, we like to know the identity of the person. Who are you? Where are you from? Who is this woman we see? Can you give us a little bit, you know? In Lingala, we say gu. So can you give us a little taste?
Okay, hello to everyone, good afternoon. My name is Marlene Mayele. I am, well, obviously I'm Marlene Mayele. I'm Congolese. I was born in Congo, raised in the UK. What else do you want to know?
Ooh. So, are you a mother? Are you single? You know, we might have, you know, someone might want to, you know, after the show, call a little bit, hello, Miss Marlene, you know.
Tell them not to bother calling.
Now,
I'm a mother, yes, I'm a mother. I have a daughter. Yeah.
So what do you do for a living?
Well, apart from being a new mother, I also work for retail, and I also work freelance in production.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit back. Tell us a little about family background. How your family? What family from? What we know we don't do. You know, some people like the tribe. Congo. What part of Congo are you from? And what was the process to bringing you to this woman we see?
Okay, you really want to know like my roots and everything.
We want to know the roots.
All right, no problem. My father is from Bandundu, and in Bandundu he was like in the ville, and that's where I was produced. That's where I was born, and my mother is half Muluba and also Bandundu at the same time. So I am Bandundu and Muluba. I was born in Congo, in Bandundu, and then when I left there, I went to Kinshasa, and after Kinshasa, I went Belgium a little bit, and then I grew up here in the UK.
Okay. Now, before we get into the big source, because I'm sure many of you have been seeing a lot of leaflets on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and you guys, like, they've seen you, some have seen you about Young Mom, they've seen you do Young Mom, Behind Closed Door, and the title of Young Queen. And I presume all of you saw last year me wearing a nice black t-shirt with gold writing saying, I am a young queen. So you are actually the founder, the visionary of Young Queen. Can you tell us, how did you start that, and what is the vision behind it?
It all started back in 2015. I wanted to try and do something that I can link with my production, because obviously, like, for example, what you're doing, like production work, but I wanted to link it so that I can be the creative director, the producer, because I've got experience having worked with well-known companies. So I actually sat down with one of your founders here, Louis. I sat down with him when we started doing the show, because I was also part of the Boss Brother team, and I said to him, I want to do something. And at the time it had a different name, and I explained to him what I wanted to do, and he gave me advice how to go about it with the cameras and everything. But then it took a different path in 2016, because my life took a different path as well. What I wanted to do, I said I'd give myself like 2 years here in the UK, and then it just changed a little bit. So having changed, I also experienced something different, and that was childbirth.
Okay.
So having experienced childbirth, like carrying a child, being pregnant, and going through the whole experience, I also experienced other personal issues after the pregnancy. Such as dealing with postnatal depression, such as dealing with stress. And like, it was new to me. You hear people deal with things, you have a bit of sympathy, you give them a little there, I'm sorry. But when you have to deal with it, it's completely different. It's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener. And because I dealt with that, probably not as deep as other people would have dealt with it, but the fact that I went down that path, I experienced it, I decided to change what I wanted to do. I still wanted to keep the whole production theme, but I wanted to use the whole creative art and to connect it with the people who are dealing with such issues. Instead of just, oh, you have an issue, what is your issue? I want it to be more like a therapy in front of the camera.
So before it became like a therapy in front of the camera, what was it? Because you're saying you changed a bit of the route, but can you be more specific of what was it before? Before,
what I wanted to do, it was like a production-based thing, where perhaps if you've got like a short film or a short drama, short documentary, or if there's like something quite meaningful, a subject that we in the African community don't like to discuss, like we put it out there for them to see that it's being tackled with. But then when I dealt with that, I realized, wait, there's deeper issues in the African and Caribbean communities. There's things that women are dealing with that we don't get to see, we don't get to know, simply because you look good, right? But I don't know if you've got something that's bothering you, simply because we feel like we can't really talk to each other. Sometimes another person will not understand it. But whereas if you put it out there yourself, there's no songy is there.
Well, another person may be watching us right now may say to themselves, like, they've gone through it, but they haven't, you know, decided to do such a production. And they can question you and be like, what gives you, what can certify or can be certified that definitely you have the experience, or for you to actually help, because you're producing this in able to help, I presume, young people or mums? Is it young people specifically, or is it
this project that we're doing right now is mothers, like young mothers. And the title young mom does not mean like because, oh, you have to be in your 20s and you're 18 to be classified as a young mom, because most of the girls, including yourself, who gave a testimony, it's an experience of when you were young at that. You're still young, but you were younger at that time. You probably were 21 when you dealt with it, you were 22, but now you're like 25, 26. So the whole young is a metaphor. It's not just looking at it because you're young now.
Yeah, but as for you, what have you done? What education have you done? What certificate do you have? And what can you prove to the viewers that you have that certain of educational knowledge of to produce such a production or such a thing enabled to help a community? Because this is a major thing you're helping people with.
I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a mental health doctor, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a health visitor, I'm not any of those things. Nor do medicine is just too much. Do you understand what I mean? I'm not any of those things. I can work with those people, I can connect to those people, like each and every single person can do. When you're creating something, you need to do some research, you need to make a team, you know, like you do this, you do that, this is what I'm doing. Like each project will have different people, different teams to be able to create what it is like I vision to create. When it comes to myself and my own qualification and degree, I have 2 bachelor degrees. I have one in Tourism International, so that covers the whole event management and marketing, and I also have in drama, so that covers the whole knowing what to do off screen and on screen in production. And personally, I have worked with companies such as Sky and programs such as Ross Kemp Extreme World Program.
But when you speak about those are production.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is basically, especially let's say for example, working with young mums, what can you say, can you prove to us that you have that knowledge in able to work with such sector of people?
When I say working, I wouldn't say I'm personally working with them. What I'm doing with the mothers or the young mothers is giving them a platform to be able to be contributors, to be able to speak and to give a testimony of the things that they probably went through in order to help another young mother who could be going through the situation. Someone else could be in their mid-20s. Women in their mid-30s still kind of experience this because it's something that you experience in the first time of childbirth. Only women can experience postnatal depression. A man can experience depression but not postnatal depression. And in order to make it work, I need to connect, or I have connected with people, with companies who deal with that. I have to be in a position to direct you, to tell you like, okay, with this, you can go to this company, you can go to this company, you can go to this company. But as for myself, like I said, I'm not no psychologist. I'm just putting you in the right path, in the right direction, and using what I and other people went through in order to motivate, to tell you that, look, she went through that, but look at her today. She's sitting here, she's your presenter. So you can get up and you can do something positive about it. Don't let the negative bring you down and stop you. And another reason I decided to do this is because our African and Caribbean community, we see such situations and various other situations as a taboo. We don't want to talk about it because that's the upbringing that we have. We're black, we don't deal with that. We're Africans, we don't like to discuss things like that. So allowing us to talk about it now could probably help another, probably help your daughter, make another family understand that communication is important in their household, make another mother understand that communication is important between their child when they're pregnant, or make another husband understand that communication with their wife is important when the wife is pregnant or when the wife has had a child, because your wife could have a child today and then after they don't like themselves anymore. They don't feel good anymore. A husband's in the house and the wife is dealing with depression, but they don't even know. Or some of them are in denial. What's depression?
So in your concern is basically exposing what goes on behind closed door when as a young mother, as also as a adult mom, as an adult mom who experience not only depression but would you classify as mental health?
Well, anything that is stress, anxiety, postnatal depression, or just depression in general, it falls under the term mental health.
Yes.
People need to stop looking down at the term mental health and thinking mental health is when someone's in a mental institution, hospital,
like
because
someone's
they're mad. No. Like, some people have experienced it. I personally, when I discovered this, I felt like, in that case, everybody experiences this every day. It's not the kind of stress where you can't find the right pair of shoes to put up with your outfit. It's completely different. It's the kind of place that you don't like yourself. You don't want to communicate to people. Some people become suicidal. It takes you to a whole different journey. And we need to talk about it. If we don't talk about it, how am I going to help another sister? How are you going to help another sister?
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I'm gonna ask my yaya, my best yaya, yaya me as well, to put a spot on of Young Queen so we can have a little view of exactly what we're talking about. See you soon.
Having abortion was the last thing on my mind.
There was people in the room. It wasn't a show. It wasn't so people can understand this and that. She did it just between me and her and God. And she, sorry. Oof.
And I just fainted. I wasn't breathing no more. They had to come. I remember I woke up, I could see the machine going through. It made me sad, but I had no choice. I moved out of London to Hertfordshire. Then I decided to come back to London.
It showed everyone.
Hiya, that was a spot of young mum behind closed door, produced and directed by yours truly, Miss Marlene Mayele. Before we showed the spot, we were just discussing a bit, having a little bit of discussion to understand exactly what is Young Queen and what is the purpose of this event of Young Mum Behind Closed Door. Now, who are the specialists that you're working with behind that are helping you, you know, to tell you, like, because there's many people that are going to come to you to bring you a testimony, but you need to be also aware, is it true or is it false?
So if someone comes with a false testimony, let their conscience deal with them, because it's a soft subject, you know. It's a subject where some people don't want to touch. It's a subject where others want to touch because they feel like it needs to be spoken about. So you're not really going to come with a false testimony and be like, oh, I was this and I was that. Well, if it's false, that's your business, because I'm putting it out there.
You heard that? She's putting it out there. So who are other people that you're working with that are there, apart from those people that you've put on screen that has given you permission with the testimony? Apart from those people, who are the other people you're working alongside?
Before I answer that question, I would like to sum up, first of all, a full definition of how I would define Young Queen.
Okay.
Young Queen is, I wouldn't say charitable, but we work with charitable companies. So in order to be able to give some funds towards something that is being done in such subjects, everybody's probably thinking, oh, she's a woman, so she's going to be only for women issues. I will cover many women issues, unfortunately, because I am a woman. But I will also cover issues that men deal with, because it's not just us who have issues, and it's not just us who deal with depression. I feel like men also deal with it, and they also need to be told that it's okay to speak and to let it out in order to feel free from it. This is just one of our first projects. There will be various projects. We will cover issues such as domestic abuse, violence. We will cover issues such as rape, whichever issue that we feel is relevant to discuss that is brought to us on the platform. As for Young Queen, as for Young Mum Behind Closed Doors, there's a big team behind it. To start with, the team of the production itself, we had Joel London, who was a director. We had photo by Carlos, who was our on-screen photographer and also a third cameraman. We have V Valentine, who is the graphic designer for the graphics that you see. We have Ayani, our Nigerian person,
That's Nigerian.
who dealt with the logo of Young Queen. And on the day of the event, as you see on the flyer, we have speakers. One of the speakers is a counselor, an author. She is a professional counselor, so she deals with counseling people with such subjects and such issues. That is the First Lady, Anne. And the second one is a pastor. Many of us know him in our community. So he's going to touch on this subject on a spiritual matter, because I feel that as much as you can deal with it physically, you also need to have the knowledge of what it does to you spiritually, so that you can overcome both physical and spiritual side. Another speaker is going to be Alexandra, who is a mother and a model. She's going to speak about her personal experience of having dealt with such issues, because she was a mum before she became the model that she is today. Another one is Jeanette, who is a trainee midwife. So she's going to speak to us about it in the front line in the hospital, how it is to deal with women, because some of them deal with it while pregnant, or some of them discover it after, during labor. So she's going to explain to us what it's like on the front line in the hospital when women have to deal with these issues. And obviously our host is our beautiful Ghanaian lady, Amy.
Oh, that's very good. As you can see on the leaflet, the event is going to be on the 24th of
February
this month, and it's located, can you give us the location?
The location is in South London. Elephant Castle is the nearest train station. Get off the station, take a left. I'm joking.
What time to what time?
From 5:30 to 8:30.
Now tell us a little bit about the ladies that you have used in able for them to give the testimony. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, we have the fine sister here. once she decides what she's doing with herself. The fine sister here, your presenter, took part in the show. So if you are her follower and you support her, get your ticket online, come and support her, listen to her testimony, listen to the advice that she's going to be giving to you, how she overcame her issues and how she was able to sit on the seat that you see her sitting on today. We had another young lady go by the name of Maria Masintambi. She gives her testimony, how she dealt with it and how she is now able to say that I am happy with my son who is now 5 years and at school. And we have various other lady, which is a surprise for you. When you come on the day, it's a screening, then it's going to be the conference, and there's many surprises. We've got loads. I've got loads up my sleeve. Got loads.
So what would you say right now to a mother, a father, a parent right now that they just discovered, let's say probably discovered, that the child is pregnant, or probably they their child already gave birth but they have this scar in their heart? What would you say to them?
It depends. Why do you have the scar in your heart?
Because every African parent, their pride is their children. Because even the Bible says your strength is your children. Because when you're old, your children is who will actually help you until the day you die.
Yeah.
So some parents find it kind of difficult. They had hopes, they had a certain standard for the children, and then now they fell pregnant, especially daughters, they fell pregnant. What would you say to them?
Well, it depends, because other girls who are speaking in the testimony, they're not single mothers, they're married. So like I said before, you could be married in your household and you're dealing with something and you don't know how to say it, and then your husband is not aware that's what you're dealing with.
But I'm talking about the parent.
Communication. So the parents should communicate with their children. If a child falls pregnant, for example, I'm not married, but I had a child. So you have to deal with that. Your family just coming at you and people asking so much questions because they expected you, or you went to school, you did that. They had so much high expectations, like you said. But no matter the high expectation, one day or another, your children will have children, but maybe it just didn't happen the way that you expected it to happen. So yes, give them a little tap, tell them what they did is wrong, but eventually you need to go back and try and bring them back into the right path again. Because you as a mother now, when your daughter does wrong, you shout at her, you do what you have to do, but eventually it's you who gives that little cuddle again.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean? So you need to tell them off about what they're doing, but then you need to bring them back into the place in order to give them that strength again, for them to feel alive again, to be able to get up and fix it. Because maybe tomorrow they'll be able to do better. Maybe that child is a gift in order to help them to do what they needed to achieve. So don't just lock them straight away, lock them out straight away, I mean. Some parents, it takes them time. They need to adjust, they need to acknowledge it. But once the child comes out into this world, they say the child belongs to everyone. But that's not a case for some people. Some people, they just take their child and deal with it. Or you said, I will deal with my child by myself. But the most important thing that I feel in any situation is communication.
Most certainly. What would you say now to a young mom who has, you know, just recently given birth and she's going through this situation? What would you say to them? What advice?
Young moms who's recently given birth, you're probably feeling disgusted with yourself. You know, nature has botched you, things has changed about yourself and your body, and the whole situation, you're not fully comfortable with it. Don't give up, because there is tomorrow. Not many people saw today and not many people will see tomorrow, but you're able to see today and you're probably going to be able to see tomorrow. So as long as you're in this world, as long as you're alive and you're waking up and you're thanking God for your life, don't give up. Use each day as a new light. Use each day as a new opportunity. Get up in the morning, have a routine for you and your child. If that routine is for your child to smile first thing in the morning, like how I do with my daughter, let that be your routine. Get up, feel good about yourself, do your hair, you know. Find something positive to do with yourself. Don't let it just be, I'm at home changing diapers or something like that. At some point, you're going to go back to work. Use your maternity time to invest in yourself, time to create something new within yourself. For example, like how I did. It may not be perfect for other people, but I feel it's relevant and it needs to be done. So I would personally say, don't let yourself down. Yes, you'll have a moment where you don't want to get up, where you don't want to do anything. Allow yourself to scream, allow yourself to cry, just burst it out, deal with it so that you can get up and go.
Give us a little bit of tactic, one tactic you used to overcome your time when you were going through depression, anxiety. Give us a little bit of tactic.
To start with, I wasn't even aware I was dealing with such an issue. It was when the health visitors came. They do like little tests, like fill these papers in, and I think it's normal. So if you've had a child, you may go through this. They'll come in your house and ask you a few questions. Don't be alarmed, don't be panicked.